Hi guys. Good
Ayun.
evening. Hello, Sai.
Good evening, Coach. Good evening, guys. Ayan. So, lang. Ilan ba yung viewers natin ngayon? Yan, watch out sa 4,000 viewers natin dyan. And baka nagtataka kayo kung bakit kami naka-live ngayon. Monday na Monday. Kasi last week sana Wednesday. Kaso, kakatapos lang nung 7-day profile branding challenge namin. So, syempre, need ng pahinga. And then ngayon, may another challenge na naman sa the freelance movement, yung 12-day client getting challenge. So, may tanong ako sa'yo, Coach. May napapansin ka ba sa akin na parang kakaiba or ewan ko?
Parang wala kang
Ano?
wala kang haircut or walang shave or ano ba?
Ayun, buti napansin mo. Talagang nice to. Kakaiba. Joke lang. Pero yun
Oh,
nga,
di ba?
yun, challenge ko rin sa sarili ko yun kasi wala lang, gusto ko lang ma-challenge sa sarili ko na hindi ako mag-shave or magpapagupit hangga't hindi ako makaka-close ng deal or hindi ako magkakaroon ng client. So yun lang,
Hmm,
pa-comment dyan sa baba guys kung meron din kayong challenge na ginagawa sa sarili nyo.
yun.
And regarding pala dun sa 7-day profile branding challenge, baka pwede kaming makahingi ng feedback about it para makasali kayo sa raffle namin, which is i-announce namin mamaya. So yun lang. Ikaw coach, anong sasabi mo?
Yeah, ang ganda ng ano no, ng challenge mo sa sarili mo. Hindi ka mag-shave. No shave, ano ba ang topic yan? No shave something challenge hanggang mga client, no? Baka bukas,
No, parang
shave ka na ha? Kasi ang galing mo.
hmm. Hindi, baka nga ano, maging kamukha ko na si Alex Hermosi niyan, eh. Ewan
Ayun.
ko, tingnan na lang natin.
Oh, di ba?
Pero yun at
Sige.
pero ikaw coach, may challenge ka ba sa sarili mo or ano bang
Well ngayon ang challenge ko sa sarili ko is kasi, sa mga brands na hina-handle ko ngayon, the
hmm,
it's really ngayon kasi summer usually is parang, kung sa economics pa meron tayong, uptrend tsaka downtrend. Yung summertime kasi sa napapansin ko lang ha, is the start of the downtrend when it comes to businesses. So dito sa, part na 'to, um nag-prepare for the next uptrend. So maraming mga pakulo, merong siguro mga discounts, promos, or ano ba mga pakulo sa mga iba't ibang brands diyan. Because
mm,
at the bare months, starting at September, papaakyat na naman 'yan. Kasi sa bare months
hmm.
kasi yung mga savings ng mga tao, ng mga income ng mga tao, diyan nila winawaldas na sa mga bare months, especially on December, January. So ganyan yung parang may cycle 'yan, every year. So ang challenge.
So 'pag summer,
Yeah,
downtrend siya,
yeah, it's the start of
gano'n?
the downtrend for most businesses. Hindi naman lahat, depende sa industry.
Bakit coach?
Um,
Bakit nagda-downtrend?
sa napapansin ko lang, every summer kasi, especially dito sa Pilipinas, lumalabas kasi yung mga tao. So the
Mm,
industry of, let's say, travel and tourism, yun yung nag-uptrend during summers
mm.
sa Pilipinas.
Mga Cebu mga
Yeah,
gano'n
yeah, mga
o mga
mga
ano,
tourist spots. While the
hill,
city na mga city, businesses, yung nasa city, yun yung mga businesses na medyo, maliit yung yung kita. Kasi nga yung mga students or yung mga, working professionals, this is the time na lumalabas sila sa nila, sa siyudad, pumupunta sa probinsya or pumupunta sa beach o sa bukid just to unwind, take a vacation, take a holiday, yung mga gano'n. 'Di ba napapansin niyo?
hmm,
But it's actually changing
mm.
kasi nga the next school year is September ba? Tama ba ako? Next school year? Or depende sa hindi na kasi tayo nag-school 'no? So,
Oo,
it's actually changing na fast forward. So, yeah. August pala. Yeah, sabi ni Ann,
August coach,
August pala yung next, start ng school year. So, yeah, I think August magpi-peak naman 'yan, magsa-start na naman kasi babalik na yung mga students, babalik na yung mga nagtatrabaho. Usually summers kasi nagti-team building din ng mga corporate, 'di ba? So,
oo.
yung ibang mga businesses,
Yung sa'tin kaya, kailan kaya yun?
oo, oo nga, 'di ba?
Nakalimutan.
Oh, remind mo ako,
Ayos.
oo nga, tama.
Mm,
Paplano tayo after this. Sige. So, ayun,
ayun.
back to your question, yung challenge ko sa sarili ko is to help the brands that I handle right now, yung mga naka-retainer ako. help them um, minimize losses during this time period of downtrending business, but also prepare for the upcoming uh, uptrend this August, September, somewhere around that month. So, yan. That's the challenge that I
Grabe.
have for myself right now. Gagawa ng mga campaigns for this business.
Challenging pa rin kahit ano, coach 'no, parang ang tagal mo na sa industry.
Yeah, kasi hindi kasi guaranteed na yung ginawa mo last year will work this year. Because times are changing, especially sa industry ng tech. Ang daming mga innovations, and the innovations of tech today are affecting all industries. 'Di ba? Tignan natin yung AI, or yung gasgas na 'tong topic na AI na 'to, pero it's really changing our world today. Yung AI, 'di ba, affected niya yung food industry, affected niya yung e-commerce industry, affected niya lahat affected niya. That's why it's not really a guarantee na kung nag-work yung strategies niyo last year, it will still work today, because people are changing, technology is changing. So we have to test and test and test. So ganun yung
No one size fits all talaga na strategy.
tama. There's no
So,
solution. Although there are frameworks, concepts na time-tested na di talaga siya magbabago, but how you apply or execute and use those frameworks, concepts, strategies, and tactics will really depend on the current landscape ng market ngayon. So, yeah, yun.
ayun, sige. Parang ang haba ng intro natin,
Oo nga
coach.
eh.
Simulan natin sa mga tanong-tanong kasi ang dami rin nagtanong dun sa post ko kanina eh.
Okay.
Parang may galit ata yung mga nagtatanong. Pero pero okay lang, appreciate namin yun, guys. So eto na. Proceed na tayo sa unang tanong, coach, or may ayan.
Sige.
Ayan ba yung unang tanong?
Ano ba yung unang tanong?
Ayan.
Daming lumalabas dito. Ayan. Ito,
Ayan,
is this
coach.
the one? What are the top 3 advices you wish you implemented as a beginner brand strategist to catapult your career? Number 1, um, strategy first uh, before deciding for a brand name. Yun yung number 1. Kasi usually mga businesses, di ba, name kaagad before sila start sa brand strategy o sa marketing strategy. But the reason na gusto kong unahin muna yung strategy is because it will give us more clarity, focus, and direction towards what we want for our business, and it will narrow down kung anong dapat yung brand name na pipiliin natin for our brand or company name for the business. Number 2 naman, brand name first before gagawa ng logo. Yun yung mga isa, kasi most of the people inuunan lang, merong mga ganito inuunan lang yung mga logo, saka sila gagawa ng brand name. Kasi they think it's cool, kasi gusto nila kaparehas nila sinong idol nila na brand, di ba? Mga ganun. Or may nakita silang parang stock na photo or symbol sa online, sa mga stock na mga websites, and then they try to apply it. Tapos yun, meron na silang kaparehas, hindi na sila unique. And number 3 is check mo yung domain na availability for the brand name. Kasi those are one of the things that we should consider when we try to use or try to decide a brand name. Everyone is online nowadays. So kung gagawa ka ng domain for your brand, make sure it is available. Kasi kung hindi siya available, it's much harder for you to reach more people using the domain name that you want. So ganun dapat. So first, strategy first before brand name. Brand name first before you try to create your logo para mas consistent. Third one is make sure na available sa domain yung brand name na gusto mong brand name na gagamitin mo for your business or for your brand.
Nag-a-apply lang ba to sa beginner brand strategies, coach? Kasi guilty ako dito sa etong before brand name first before logo. Ewan kasi may logo na ako, hindi naman parang nag-logo na lang ako, pero alam mo yun.
Kasama ka pala sa ayun. Well, not necessarily naman na sa beginner brand strategy. Actually, I'm talking yung implementation as a beginner brand strategist. I'm talking about this when working with clients.
Mm.
Hindi yung ano yung
Sarili.
dapat ginawa ko sa sarili ko. But this is
Mm.
for when working with clients. So when working with clients, yun yung tatlong top 3 advices ko. Tapos may question si Ange dito. Speaking of domain name, malaking factor ba if hindi .com ang gagamitin? Actually, not necessarily naman na uh, yung name or yung domain name mo is .com talaga, kailangan talaga siya. Hindi naman talaga. It's just that yung .com is the easiest and the most known na tawag dyan, nakalimutan ko ano. Basta yung .com yung pinakasikat talaga na domain extension for domain names. So advantage sa'yo, it's just an advantage, but not really a big factor because the biggest factor is still your marketing execution, marketing strategy, brand execution mo. Kung paano mo ba i-market. Kahit gaano pa kaganda yung domain name mo, but no one knows about it because you're not letting people know kung ano yung kung ano yung brand name mo, what you offer, what is your business all about, then it still doesn't work kahit .com ka pa or anong pinakamagandang word dyan. So, yeah, still needs to be consistent among all touch point. Isang touch point lang kasi yung yung sa domain name. Yung pag-search lang yan or pag-click, di ba? That's just one touch point. An average customer needs 7 touch points in order to feel comfortable interacting with you as a brand or as a service provider. Based on psychology yan. 7 ano talaga siya, 7 touch
Ayan, may
points.
follow-up question, Coach.
Yeah. What are the top 3 advices you wish you never had done or wish to be avoided to kasi na-hype lang? Ito. Ano ba 'to? Sa ano lang,
Parang
sa
dun pa rin
subscription?
ata sa beginner brand strategies ata yan.
Okay. Well, sa beginner brand strategist, number 1 talaga na i-avoid ko is having yung parang shiny object syndrome na lahat na lang ng courses, naubos lahat ng pera ko sa course tapos wala akong ginawa na action. That's before I entered the freelance movement tribe with Chief John Pagulayan. So, ginawa ko noon, enroll ng mga courses. Nakatry nga ako graphic design, try ako sa web development, but still kulang ako sa execution. I didn't really learn by doing. Puro na lang course. Tapos, gusto ko matuto nito. Akala ko kaya ko lahat. So, you need to avoid that. Master one skill. Yun nga, di ba? If naka-join kayo sa 7-day profile branding, master your market first, and then their problem, and then the solution, and then the skill that you will apply to solve their problem for that specific na market. So, yun yung top 1 na advice ko. Don't be, anong tawag dyan? Like, hindi ka dapat mag-shiny
Nagpapasok.
object syndrome.
Mm.
Yeah. Parang ganun. And then number 2 siguro is, um, yung yung parang ma-hype. Ito kasi na-hype lang. Ma-hype ka talaga kapag bago pa. So
Hayop
if
ka talaga.
you,
Hayop.
yeah. Yung parang hayop, di ba? Yung parang, if you think na you need to change, we all need to change that mindset. Ito kasi kapag beginner, parang na-hype ka talaga. Yung nakita mo ng mga outcome ng iba or wins ng iba or na-imagine mo na kung anong mangyayari sa'yo if you will enter this siguro this skill or this market and you think magkaka 6 digits ka na or ano ba. If your focus is on the outcome itself, then ang mangyayari sa'yo is you will be disappointed if what you expected the outcome to be will not happen for you. So, avoid the thinking na focus ka talaga sa outcome. Focus on the process instead. If you are more process driven or process oriented, the outcome becomes a byproduct. The journey versus the destination, parang ganun, diba? So mas worthy kasi yung destination or mas worthy yung outcome when you enjoy the process or the journey behind it. So, gano'n yung ano ko, enjoy the process daw sabi ni Ange. So, yun 'di ba? We need to enjoy the process while we are striving to get that outcome. Kasi yung outcome hindi natin makokontrol yan, eh, but the process we can control. So, focus on that. So, yun ang mga, mistake ko noon na talagang hype na hype ako tapos na-depress ako kasi hindi ko makuha yung gusto ko, and then I learned na, ganito pala dapat. Ganito pala dapat. Dapat hindi ako ma-depress, instead I'll try to fix my process. Hindi ako mag-focus sa outcome. Hindi ko nakuha yung outcome, so dapat iiyak lang ba ako? Di dapat gano'n yung ano, 'di ba, yung thinking natin, or gi-give up lang ba ako? Instead of thinking about that, go back to your process, fix what's wrong, and try again. Gano'n dapat. So, yun yung top 2 advice ko. Top 3 naman na i-a-avoid natin as a brand strategist, as a beginner is ano, yung ano, overthinking. Dapat mag-a-avoid tayo niyan. Yung parang we think that we're not.
Analysis paralysis
Yeah,
din
like
siguro.
lahat na lang ng ano, lahat na lang ng natutunan ay yung parang we overthink, paano ganito, paano ganyan. Ito rin kung sobrang process driven ka. Yung parang, ah, sobrang analysis, sobrang lahat, yung parang wala ka ng ginawa, analyze ka na lang na analyze ng process mo. Hindi din maganda. Dapat you ano talaga, expose yourself to real world scenarios, real world outcomes din. So, go ahead, go to your ano, go to the client or go to the market, talk to them, build a relationship. Don't overthink, just do it. Done is better than perfect. Walang perfect. It will never be perfect. We are in the infinite game. Infinite business kasi. Infinite game yung business. So there's no winner or loser. There's no perfect or imperfect. There's only the game. The players, the goal is to survive. Yun lang talaga. And to stay in the game as long as possible. If we want this to be our life, di ba? That's why it's very important na purpose-driven tayo, hindi yung parang profit-driven lang. Kasi kung profit-driven lang, that's outcome. Yung profit, magkaka-profit tayo, di ba? But purpose is forever. Purpose is a process, di ba? So, yun. Top 1 is,
Shiny object.
shiny object. Number 2 is yung,
Stop focusing on the outcome,
stop
more on the
focusing on the
process.
outcome. And then third is don't overthink the process. Just do it.
Mm.
Yun.
Ayun.
Yun yung
Kasi
advice ko.
tama talaga coach, talaga dun sa ano, madalas nangyayari yun yung comparison, like focusing on the outcome na kumbaga si ganito, ganyan, ginawa lang to,
Mm.
bakit sa akin like ginagawa ko rin naman yung ginagawa niya pero bakit? So ikaw nade-depress ka na also yun, kaya focus ka lang talaga kasi eventually parang meron tayong kanya-kanyang timeline nga, like
Tama.
sobrang cliche na yun eh, pero ayun nga, when everything starts to, like when you want to quit, everything starts to click. So, ayun, focus lang talaga. Yun, tsaka yung the man who loves walking will walk further than the man who loves the destination.
Tama, tama.
Kaya,
May
lakad ka
pa-coach
lang.
pala
Tapos,
si ano, Coach Renato siya. Ayun, 'di
galing.
ba? So, yun,
Ayun,
tama,
ayun.
tama ka Sai, na
Yan mo.
yeah. So, ano, another question naman, sige. Quotes hoarder 'no?
Quotes horn. Ga.
Hmm. Ano favorite and least favorite experience sa process niya
Shit.
in helping clients? Okay. Yung favorite part ko is the end. Yung kasi tapos na. Hindi, joke lang. Hindi, yung favorite part ko talaga,
Yung paid na?
hindi naman. Yung paid part,
Hindi naman kasi naka-live.
uh, hindi, yung paid part should be first. Before we fulfill any clients, dapat pabayad talaga kayo whenever it's financial or ano ba, in social proof or ano, whatever it is. Dapat meron kapalit talaga before you start the service. So, ganun. Anyway, favorite ko talaga is the end kasi dun ko malalaman if I need to improve my current process or happy sila sa ginawa ko para sa kanila. Kasi I always seek yung ano, continuous improvement. So, ang hinahanap ko is yung mali. Ano bang mali ko sa ginawa ko for the client? Yun yung palagi kong hinahanap eh. And from that, I feed that into, para siyang feedback. So, gumagawa ako ng feedback loop. I feed it back into my own process, and then I look for how I can address that feedback sa process ko. So, babaguhin ko, hindi naman babaguhin, siguro i-tweak ko, i-improve ko yung process ko so that yung feedback niya ma-address ko sa next na client or sa current process ng pag-fulfill ko ng client. Ang least favorite experience ko naman is the beginning. Kasi you have to explain. Ang daming objections, ang daming mga kailangan in our kasi in our specific skill, yung brand strategy, a lot of people are still confused. Wala pa silang clarity kung ano ba talaga tong brand strategy. Marami kasing interpretations eh. Brand strategy could be uh, it could it could be TikTok brand strategy, it could be corporate internal brand strategy, it could be brand strategy for copywriting, it could be brand strategy for content marketing, yung mga ganun. Ang daming touch points na pwede niyang pasukan. So, we have to explain that sa client kasi the client is very outcome or results based. Gusto nila resulta kaagad. But in brand strategy kasi, we need to be ano bang tawag dyan? We need to be holistic and systematic when we try to deliver results to the client so that wala tayong balikan. Wala tayong, yung parang, uh, kung gagawa tayo ng parang bahay, yung foundation should be strong so that hindi natin gigibain na naman yung bahay kasi nga, the foundation was not right. So, gusto kasi nila bahay kaagad, di ba? Gusto nila ganun. Hindi pwedeng ganun eh. Dapat foundation muna, tapos merong mga columns, di ba? Ganun yung paggawa din ng results ng client. But, in order for me to, to address that challenge na gusto nilang resulta kaagad, I created this yung core formula workshop so that they have a sheet that they can look at. Yun na yung resulta, and then they become much more focused, have more clarity, and have more direction when it comes to creating their own brand. In the process na nalalaman nila, nga pala, pwede palang ganito yung gawin natin. Nga pala. So, instead of really giving them just the outcome that they want, they discover more about what they want from the outcome. Kaya tawag ko sa first part ng core formula is core discovery. Discovery sa brand niya mismo at sa sarili niya, sa target market at sa products niya. Kung ano ba dapat yung connection nilang lahat. So, yun yung least favorite experience ko kasi nga daming explanations, especially kung ang client is gusto niyang dami niyang tanong, gusto niyang siya yung masusunod or something, parang micro so, but I don't deal with those clients anymore. And at the same time, nag-o-offer din ako if gusto ng client na ako lang yung gagawa ng strategy, sige, gawin ko siya lahat and then I just present it. And then we try to talk kung gusto niya ba yung strategy na to or do we change something. And from there we start. So,
Nakaka-receive ka pa rin ba ng coach? Like parang objections, ganun. Then how do you handle? Parang, paano mo inaan yung conversation?
Yeah, ang daming, usually the objection is, actually wala na akong objection sa price eh. Yung objection nila is, yun nga, confused pa rin sila kung ano ba yung brand strategy, ano bang matutulong nito. So, we have to long game yung yung style sa brand strategy kasi when you compare it to Facebook ads or TikTok content marketing or ano ba, let's say social media marketing, yung mga ganun, yun yung mga di ba, most in demand yan kasi ito yung alam nila, they understand this. But brand strategy, they don't understand this. But once we explain that those three that I just mentioned, yung Facebook ads, yun lahat could be enhanced if they know brand strategy or if they tried to create brand strategy. And if they have created this brand strategy, bigay niya lang sa sa Facebook ads expert, sa SEO expert, sa content marketer, sa copywriter, alam na nila agad kung anong dapat nila gawin for the brand. Ganun yung effect ng ng brand strategy. You lay down the blueprint, you just give it to the engineer, to the ano ba 'yan, yung contractor, yung
Freelancer?
no, I mean yung blueprint tapos bigay mo lang sa ano,
Oo.
sa yung for example sa bahay again na example, yung
Oo.
brand strategy is the blueprint. You just give that to the engineer, you give that to the yung ano ba, yung mga carpenter, ano bang tawag sa kanila? Yung mga ano, yung mga contractor.
Contractor
Yeah,
siguro yun.
something like that, 'di ba? Yeah, yung mga contractor and then they will build it for you. And tapos ikaw na mismo, yung owner ng bahay, ikaw nang titingin kung tama ba yung ginagawa nila based on the blueprint. So ganun yung ano, yung brand strategy. And sometimes then as the brand strategist, we can also become the engineer. Tapos tayo pa mas may alam. Kasi nga tayo yung gumawa ng blueprint, 'di ba? So we can have that as an upsell. Upsell natin yung FB ads, upsell natin yung TikTok marketing, upsell natin yung social media management. So ganun. So usually the objections is more on ano yung brand strategy? Hindi naman siya objection, it's more like a question lang siya eh.
Confusion lang
Kaya
talaga.
confusion lang talaga. So yun, how I handle that is really just to nurture them.
Explaining.
Yeah. Kasi hindi naman siya
Ayun.
objection eh. So yun. Yeah.
Brand
Architect, tama. The brand strategist is the architect.
Yun oh. Sino yan? Facebook user.
Facebook user, hindi natin nakikita. By the way guys, if you want us to see kung sino kayo, please lagay nyo, i-click nyo yung link sa ano sa caption so that we know kung sino ka. Kasi Facebook user lang yung lumalabas sa stream namin.
Same. So yan, may next question, Coach.
Sige.
If you can share one secret move. May secret pala dito.
Hindi na siya secret. Kung i-share.
Oo nga, sasabihin, oo nga.
Hindi,
V-shape.
if you can share one secret move to an existing client, what would you tell him or her to help their brand? Existing client. Sige. Secret move. Ano ba? Ang daming secret moves eh. Yung mga ano, Hokage. Hindi, joke. Hindi,
Move lang naman daw, Coach eh. So, isa lang.
isa lang, di ba? So, siguro how we use yung ano, yung discounts. Kasi discount is, or mga ano, meron di ba mga ganyan, mga 50% off, ano ba, 20%
coupon
off sale, yung mga ganun. How you use that will either break or make your brand. So, yung secret ko dito is to position your discount as value-driven na parang ano, kasi usually, ito kasi, the reason why I'm telling you this right now, kasi most of the e-commerce brands na nakikita ko, when the client doesn't go directly to checkout, yung parang nag-add to cart sila, pumunta sila checkout, pero hindi nila tinuloy yung checkout process. 'Di ba? Ano yung first email diyan? Na-try mo na ba yan, Sai? Na-try mo yan? Yung magsha-shopping ka sa e-commerce website, tapos hindi mo tinuloy yung checkout process. Ano yung first email nila?
Hindi ako madalas nag-ano eh.
Hindi ka madalas?
Wala akong pang ano.
People who are listening, alam ko na some people here are listening na nag-online shopping, especially kung sa mga e-commerce websites. The first email is they will give you a discount to continue the checkout process. 'Di ba? Ganun yung ano eh. Sometimes then when you go to the website, yung first nila na sasabihin is get a 10% discount, just put your email. Yung mga ganun, 'di ba? So, ang mangyayari diyan, some people do it do this and alam ko some of them personally, they do this talaga when it comes to especially software, maraming ganyan. So they try to create a new email para makuha nila yung discount all the time. At saka they do it purposely na hindi nila itutuloy yung checkout process so that mag-i-email ng coupon si e-commerce brand na may discount so that they would continue the checkout process. Sometimes nga hinihintay yung second email kasi usually the second email is another discount na mas malaki. So some brands do that, and I highly discourage na yung mga brands gagawin nila to. Kasi people are ano na, very knowledgeable when it comes to, especially yung nagbumibili talaga palagi. Once they see that you're just a discount giver, not really, they buy because you're a discount giver, not because they value your brand or your product, then you are not nurturing loyal na mga customers. They are just price buyers, not brand advocates. Price buyers will always choose the least na price among all of you. So yeah, you will not be able to uh, nurture them as brand advocates for your brand. That's okay if yung goal mo talaga is mass market, gusto mong marami. But for me kasi, it's much more, it's much easier if, for example, you you try to charge 10 people $100 instead of fulfilling 100 people that pay you $1. Kasi yung 100 people na yan, ang dami niyan, ang hirap niyan kung magreklamo yung 50, 'di ba? So maraming processes to go through, maraming logistics, yung delivery sa uli pa. But those people na let's say 10 people na nagbayad ng $100, if lima diyan magreklamo, madali lang sa iyo as a brand owner. 'Di ba? So para sa akin talaga, when you use discounts, it should be a last resort. First talaga is to nurture how valuable. Value dapat, yung perceived value mo ang i-increase mo, hindi yung price na. Yung goal kasi natin as a brand owners, the value of your brand should be bigger than the price that you set for them to buy. 'Di ba? Yun yung tinitingnan natin, 'di ba? Kung ano ba yung mababalik sa atin as customers, ano ba yung mababalik sa atin if we buy sa brand na to, if we buy this product. And then there are two ways that we can do this na ma-increase natin yung gap na yan. It's either we increase the price or hindi. It's either we increase the value or decrease the price para tataas yung gap. But when you decrease the price, you're attracting price buyers lang. Kasi yun lang yung tinitignan nila. 'Di ba? But if you still remain yung price pero i-increase mo yung value, meron ka mga bonuses diyan or mga freebies or ano ba yung mga bibigay mo na that will add to the value of your brand or to your product, then you are attracting brand advocates instead. Na they really value yung brand mo or yung product mo. So they would rather buy at this price kasi alam nila na the value is still higher than the price that they paid for. So if there's a secret move, yun yung i-share ko. Kasi usually they don't know this eh. Palaging sila, discount, kung wala na silang customers, discount. Instead of adding value, they're decreasing yung price. In a price war, nobody is a winner. Lahat ng kahit yung pinakamaliit na price, lugi pa rin. Kasi na lang yung profit nila. 'Di ba? So for me, it's really not good to offer discounts as a way to attract customers. So don't do that, please. Instead, add value.
Last resort na yun, coach.
Yeah, last resort na yan.
Ayun.
Yeah.
Sige. Ayan, next question tayo.
Sige.
Is it possible exclusively for beginner? Don't sometimes seem so foreign to business owner.
Yeah, tama. The term, kung naalala ko sa inyo, 'di ba? Sabi ko kanina, mas alam ni client yung tawag nito. Yung FB ads, yung TikTok marketing at saka yung yung isa? Social media manager. Mas alam nila 'yan compared to brand strategy. But yung tatlong to can be enhanced using brand strategy. So it's either you try to yung sinasabi ko palagi na if you're offering brand strategy, ito yung candy. But you can wrap the candy with anything that will attract your client. So if you're in a market, you have to study ano ba yung wrapper na dapat gagamitin mo if you want to sell this candy. Or tama ba to na itong candy na dapat yung candy na to ang dapat i-offer ko ba talaga. So, if you ask me, is it possible? Yes, because I do it. And I know a lot more people who does this exclusively. No, even when they were still a beginner. But yeah, it is foreign to some business owners. So it's our job, especially this community, to really nurture all these business owners so that they can create more sustainable and profitable brands. Para sa akin kasi the brand strategy will deeply affect yung sustainability and profitability ng isang brand. Kasi when you have a strong brand, you can dictate your own price. And if you have a strong brand, then a lot of people will advocate for you, a lot of people will market for you. So nagiging sustainable siya on its own even if you won't do any marketing efforts. So for me, brand strategy, if we nurture our the market that we want to serve, if we nurture them about brand strategy, then eventually, 'di ba? I think the brand strategy ngayon na na awareness is increasing kasi a lot of people now are demanding brand strategy. Usually,
Mm.
and magandang news sa inyo guys usually the people who really need brands are di naman need the people who want to invest in brand strategy are 7, 8 or maybe a little bit 6 digit na mga businesses. So if your goal is to be a premium, a brand strategist, then you're in luck. Kasi usually ang nag-hire sa mga brand strategists are these big corporations or really fast-growing startups. So, yan.
Gaano katagal ginagawa yung brand strategy, coach?
It really depends. Depende yan
Mm.
kung ano yung goal, ano yung outcome,
Mm.
ano bang kailangan ni client, ano ba yung dapat gawin so that the client can say na the brand strategy was a success.
Hindi yan nagma-matter kung sobrang expert mo na, sobrang tagal mo na
Yeah,
sa
hindi
ano.
yan nagma-matter. It could be 1 month,
Mm.
it could be 2 months, it could be 1 year, it could be 10 years. Depende yan. Depende talaga yan kung ano yung brand. Kasi merong mga campaigns that will last for 10 years. Merong mga campaigns na nag-last ng 5 years. But then, yung, let's say, yung 10 years or yung 5 years, ano yan, by chunk yan tinetest nila yan year by year kung effective pa ba. That's why merong mga brand strategy na retainers. Nire-retain sila just
Mm.
for the brand strategy alone to maintain it or to increase more awareness or to increase market share. Ganun.
Ayun. Sige, coach. Thank you. And may magpa-shoutout daw si Ate
Sino ba to?
Kriza Makairan.
Uy,
Wala,
shout
nagtingin
out.
na lang din ako dito.
Charot.
Kriza. And coach, man, tanong siya.
Sige.
My question is, what mistake have you made in the past as a brand strategist that help you become a better strategist and achieve greater success in your future brand projects? Ano
Mistake.
din mga pagkakamali mo?
Marami. Marami kasi all the failures lead to your success So, but if I need to remember one mistake, yun talaga yung dapat ko bang sabihin? Wag na lang. Hindi ko sasabihin yung client, but sasabihin ko ano yung nangyari. The biggest mistake siguro that I have made in the past as a brand strategist is yung paano ba to sabihin? Yung parang I made the process faster. Kasi akala ko ito na yung process ko is the perfect process na talaga for brand strategy. So hindi ako hindi ako para I wasn't listening sa client ko, sa mga concerns niya. Kasi I always parang
Parang magaling ka na
yeah,
ganun.
parang magaling
Feeling mo
na ako.
tama na
Yung
ito
parang
ginagawa mo.
sinasabi ko na this is what worked sa
Ako na to.
yeah,
Kaya ko
yeah.
na.
Yung parang this is what worked for my other clients, this is what worked for from what I learned from yung sa coach ko. So dapat ito lang talaga yung susundin natin. So I was very inflexible or rigid sa approach ko sa client na yun. Anong nangyari, hindi namin natapos yung brand strategy. Tapos yung relationship namin as client and freelancer is parang hindi namin na-nurture talaga. Although na parang ginost niya ako because I really wanted to continue yung but
Mm.
ayaw niya yung approach ko. So he didn't
Pero okay na kayo ngayon, coach?
hindi kami na.
Hindi na kayo nag-uusap,
Yeah,
wala na talaga.
yeah, pero hindi naman niya ako
We don't talk anymore.
yeah, wala namang post na ito si talaga akala ko. Yung
Hirap nun, coach, no? What if pag siniraan ka? Kung
yeah,
si Dave, ano yan eh.
yeah.
Malaki
Scam
ulo,
yan eh.
ganyan.
Di ba?
Oo, scammer yan.
Diba? So, from there,
Hmm.
I tried, doon ko na-start na realize na I need to improve my process as much as I can. Every client, there's always an improvement sa process ko. Even now na nag-launch ako ng course, I know sa next na I will still update this. I will still continue to improve this. So, yeah.
Hmm.
And because
Paano daw
sorry.
sige, coach.
And because of that,
Sige.
and because of that, na nangyari sa akin, that paved the way for me to get more clients na naging happy talaga. Nakita niyo naman sa mga testimonials na happy sila sa service kasi nga the process was so holistic daw. The process was meron silang mga natutunan na hindi nila natutunan before or mga angles na hindi nila nakita and they wanted to apply this, yung mga ganun. And some other client then was able to save millions because na nakita nila that their strategy is not connected or parang hindi siya consistent sa gusto nilang mangyari sana. So they stopped the project and it saved them millions. So meron mga ganyan na mga ng mga talks.
Grabe, hero ka talaga.
Charot.
Hindi nabubuang na sila sa'yo. And paano daw mag-move on aside doon, coach? Paano mag-move on sa pag-ghost? Pag na-ghost pala.
Paano mag-move on? Well, ang ginawa ko noon is I just took that as a loss. Yung parang
tinanggap, acceptance na lang.
Accept mo na nag-fail ka. Accept the failure and then bawi ka na lang sa next na client. Doon ka. Parang lang yun, parang laro. Like for example, basketball or anong sport ka ba? If magkamali ka, ano ba yung dapat mong gawin sa team mo? Magsusorry ka ba? Or babawi ka, kukuha ka ng puntos sa next na possession nyo? Ano yung mas gusto ng teammates mo? Diba? So, yun. Imbis na mag-sorry ka, bawi ka. So, kung nag-ghost ka, I suggest to
mang-ghost ka rin. Hindi, joke lang.
accept mo na lang. I-accept mo because that is out of your control. Whenever there is
wish them luck na lang.
Yeah. Whenever there is something that is out of your control, let it go na lang. Charot. Let it go. Manong, let it go. Let me go, Manong. Dito lang ako. Charot. Diba? So, yeah.
Sige, move on na tayo dito sa kasi sumobra na tayo. Sakto lang pala, pero meron pa atang ilang pang questions yan natin. Ayan.
Ang daming question ni Elmo.
Do you have any thoughts? Oo nga eh.
Si EJ.
Abusado. Hindi, nag-enroll kasi. Ewan ko nag-enroll ba yan, pero
I think so. Yun, parang parang mayroon siya sinabi na nag-enroll daw siya, but yeah. Question niya to. Do you have any thoughts of any brand strategy norm that is actually not always applicable to the real world or real client? Ooh, magandang question to Brand strategy norm. Meron pong norm sa brand strategy? When you say norm, parang ito yung ginagawa natin usually, right? Sa online setup. That is actually not ito. Ito, isang napansin ko sa online setup and something that is, ano ba? Teka, bakit real world or real client? Hindi ba real yung online? Hindi ko maintindihan yung question, but ito na lang, mag-assume na lang ako kahit di dapat tayo mag-assume pero assuming
wala siya eh.
If you're here, please comment para meron kaming clarity. Yung online na, for example, an e-commerce store versus a retail store, ganun siguro yung ibig niya sabihin when it comes to creating a brand strategy for these two types of businesses. Ang nakikita ko sa e-commerce store, they try to get leads, di ba? Whenever you are visiting, baka Coach Min yan na theoretical concepts na di gano'n ka-applicable.
Yan,
Okay.
present daw siya, coach.
Ay, nandiyan pala si EJ. Ano bang ibig mong sabihin nito, like applicable to the real world or real client? Tapos online setup. Do you mean like yung example ko kanina, for example,
Baka may ibang
theory versus
dimension.
actual. Okay, sige. So theory versus actual. So thoughts on any brand strategy na theory that is actually not or not always applicable to them. Okay. So yan. Meron kasi akong tinatawag na awareness journey na nilalagay ko sa sa brand strategy or sa content strategy. Halos yan nag-intersect yan sila. So yung awareness journey is I try to create a parang template of the customer or the audience na makikinig sa content ng brand on how we can nurture them from being unaware about the brand to become most aware about the brand. So meron ganyan na template. Yeah, okay. So if yung nagawa natin na template or the series or the sequence of how we can nurture yung yung customer or yung audience, we can then apply that to our email marketing sequence, social media calendar, content marketing, podcast calendar. We can apply that. But sometimes kasi yung awareness journey natin doesn't include yung mga real world events or mga yung mga mangyayari in the future. So sometimes hindi ito nasusunod religiously, which is okay. Kasi nga in strategy versus actual execution, hindi naman kailangan talaga na 100% susundin mo yung strategy. Because the strategy, yung purpose niya is to have minimal kung sa giyera pa to, the strategy is there to have minimal losses. Kung yung execution,
Armor ba yan, coach? Parang ganun.
yeah, yung parang ganun. It is your armor or it is your fortress or dapat konti lang yung yung damage. The strategy is there to control the damage. Yung execution naman is to get the outcome or to win the war or to win the battle. Ganun yung yung execution mo sa strategy. So from there, from strategy, we try to simulate yung ano bang gagawin natin when we are going to actually market the product or market the brand or create content or create the funnel. Ano ba yung so the strategy there is creating the blueprint kaya sa sinabi ko kanina. So actually hindi isa lang, halos siguro sa brand strategy ang percentage na masusunod talaga siya in exact talaga specifically is mga let's say mga 60 to 70%. 30 to 40% will heavily heavily be influenced by your execution. Kaya nga learning by doing it's much better for us to talaga learn by doing. But sa brand strategy, if you have your own blueprint, mas mapapadali yung learning mo. And then you apply pa what you learn. So mas maganda yung resulta. So there are a lot of things sa brand strategy that is not always applicable to the real world. Mga 60 to 70% lang yung yung siguro we need to focus on we need to apply the things in the brand strategy, mga 60 to 70. 30 to 40 will depend on your timing, efforts, execution, and even luck. Kailangan din natin yung luck, yung swerte natin. But luck is sometimes favor yung prepared. That's why if you have a blueprint, mas prepared ka. Mas alam mo ano yung mangyayari.
Dapat ready ka.
Mas ina-anticipate mo kung ano yung mangyayari kasi may strategy ka na nag-a-assume ka na ng mga ano, tapos ite-test mo lang. And then when the time comes na actual execution, you become luckier or more lucky kasi mas prepared ka compared sa mga competitors mo. Ganun yung ano.
Yun.
Ganun yung theory versus actual when it comes to brand strategy. So, yun. I hope, naliwanagan ka, EJ. Yun.
Kailangan talaga yung readiness, coach, no?
Yeah.
Talagang opportunity plus readiness.
Yun. That is luck.
Success equals
Yeah.
success.
Yeah. That is, plus luck pa. Yun, success ka agad. So, yeah. Another one here.
Last na ata to eh. How can we learn to ask better questions when conducting DCs? Or a workshop? Parang magkaiba ba yun, coach, kung DC or workshop? Or it applies to ano?
Sometimes kasi yung DC is, di ba DC discovery, for
Discovery call.
everyone who's watching, yung DC na tinutukoy ni Pons dito is discovery call. This is parang a call where we talk with a possible client kung ano yung problem niya, try to discover and diagnose kung ano yung problem, what could be the possible solution, and what is the current situation ng business ni client. So, that's a DC, that's a discovery call. Yung workshop naman, siguro ang tinutukoy ni Pons dito is when you start to actually serve the client, doing their brand strategy, doing their content or ano ba. So, usually kasi if we conduct a brand strategy session with the client, ang tinatawag nila nito is workshop. So, yeah, somehow it's quite the same yung line of questioning or the way we question when it comes to conducting DCs or a workshop. So, how can we learn to ask better questions? Dito kasi, the way that we can learn to ask better questions is to be prepared and to be interested sa business talaga. Your mindset should be to help, not to close. Kasi yung ultimate goal talaga dito is maka-client, maka-close ka ng client, di ba? But when you try to have a DC, the goal should be to help find, and the way you help is to help them find a problem and come up with a solution for that problem. Ganun yung sa DC eh. So workshop naman, in my case, is you're actually going deeper on the problem and the solution and trying to create a system where the solution can be efficiently done and solve the problem and reach the desired outcome. Ganun yung workshop. So if you ask me how to, sabi ni Ange dito, DC is more on checking if fit kayo to work together. Workshop is more into understanding their brand. So, tama to. So, if you ask me how we can learn to ask better questions, just be interested sa client mo. Yung parang you listen, 80% listening, and then 20% questioning. So, 20% lang yung questions. 80% is more on the listening part.
Kikinig ka lang.
Yeah, makikinig ka lang. Yeah, so, that's the way na
Parang yung coach, you have to be interested enough for you to become interesting.
Yes.
So, dapat ikaw muna maging interesting ka dapat, interesado ka talaga dapat sa kanya. Meron akong parang method dyan eh.
Yun,
About asking, about ABC method. Always be curious. So, like, you're just curious about why is this happening, bakit, what's stopping you, what have you tried before, bakit di siya gumana, ano yung gumana. Parang ganun lang. So, curiosity lang palagi. You're not there to close or makabenta. Parang talagang you just want to, coming from a place of health, very,
Tama.
Yan. Gagawa ko ng content yan, pupost ko sa community ko, Shake ABC.
Yun, salamat, Sai. So, yun nga, di ba? Be interested in order for you to be interesting.
Value.
Ayun, mag-guest si Sai sa group natin so that, tapos siya din mag-host. Ano ba yan? So,
palitan ko lang si Coach.
Oo nga eh. Coach Sai na to siya. Anyway, thank you for that, Sai. Tama yun. Always, ang ganda, no? ABC method. Always be curious. Yun nga, if you're curious enough with the intent to help who you're talking to, especially kung client to, di ba? Or possible client. If your intent is to really help, hindi yung makabenta ka, buy product na lang yung benta. Kasi benta, again, di ba? Going back, helping is a process. Benta is the outcome. Ano yung makakontrol mo? Yung process, di ba? So focus on helping instead of focusing on the outcome, which is yung benta. Kasi hindi natin control. Yung magkocontrol, yung magde-decide kung makakabenta ka ba or hindi is yung client eh. Di ba? Siya yung magde-decide, yes, sige, kunin na kita. Or, sorry, next time na lang.
Pass
Pass
muna.
muna, di ba? So, yun. Active listening is the key. Yeah, tama yan. Ayun.
Said.
Yeah, I guess that's it for us guys.
Oo nga, ang dami na. Sumobra na tayo, guys.
Oh,
So, ano, coach, paano mo i-end to? Ikaw na.
yeah, for everyone pala na attended the 7-day profile branding challenge, thank you so much because we were able to start parang an activity that would be able to help a lot of people here, especially yung mga confused pa paano nila i-brand yung service nila, paano nila i-brand yung business nila. So first, nirelease namin to freelancers in order for them to optimize their profiles, make them stand out from their competitors. Kasi usually, especially yung mga clients, alam na nila kung, for example, kung templated na yung branding mo, alam na nila, freelancer to. Magbebenta to sa akin. But if you try to make yourself stand out, then make yourself, parang, if you speak the language,
Kakaiba talaga.
yeah, kakaiba ka. And if you speak the language that your client is also speaking with, or speaking, kung ano yung language nila. Yung language na tinutukoy ko dito is how they use terms, yung mga ganun. But yeah, yun nga, you would be able to start a conversation, build a relationship, and be able to help more people. So, if you can, please leave a feedback sa group or sa form na may masasend ba na form, link dito para makakabigay ng feedback sa 7-day profile branding challenge so that we can further improve this when we launch on the next launch. So, yun. Yung core formula workshop pala. Yeah, yung core formula workshop enrollment is still ongoing. Pero tapos na yung yung ano tawag nito? Yung early bird last Friday. So if meron kayong if gusto nyo pa yung early bird, sorry na lang kasi tapos na. But yeah, some people have enrolled already. Hindi ko lang alam kung ilan talaga. But yeah, I think si EJ din nag-enroll. So, yeah, nandito siya ngayon sa sa comments. So, thanks EJ sa on ayun. And then yeah, core formula workshop enrollment is still ongoing. Ayun, meron ng
Ayan yung feedback form.
yeah, feedback form for the 7-day profile branding is there. You can click that link so that you can and then Sai, naka-create ka ba ng ng thread for them to post yung nila, yung profile nila?
Inisa ko na lang yung day 1 to 7, coach. Wala na
nila
mapapansin sa mga post ko. Nice. Pero yan, guys, sagutan nyo yung feedback form kahit na team replay lang kayo. And nasa inyo na yun. Integrity na yan.
Na okay na ba yung mga videos? Kasi na dapat hindi tayo nagla-live na merong Spotify.
Oo nga, nagsa-soundtrip.
Diba?
Pa kasi.
Soundtrip pa kasi sa Spotify na tuloy na copyright tuloy.
Yun pala guys, pa-comment if okay na ba siya, okay na ba sa inyo yung mga live sa day 1. Kasi wala, ulitin natin ulit yung day, hindi.
Yeah, but Neil will email the copy of the videos. So, watch out for the emails na lang para makita niyo yung mga videos. So you can do the challenge again on your own time through the emails. Tapos, the enrollment pala for the core formula workshop will end on Friday this week. So hindi na kami ma-accept ng other people na magjo-join sa workshop. The reason is I want to focus, if konti lang it's okay, kasi I want to focus the group na meron talagang magawang yung makuha namin kung ano yung outcome na gusto namin na makuha. So I want to focus on this group, really nurture them, teach them how I do things when it comes to brand strategy, and at the same time they might be able to teach me something that will improve the core formula workshop. Tsaka merong pala raffle tomorrow na 1 scholarship at 20% discount vouchers. Paano mo 'to gagawin, Sai, tomorrow? Magla-live ka ba or what will you
Mag-live na lang siguro ako or di ko alam ano bang gagawin. Pero
watch out
pwede
ka
naman
lang
mag-live na
bukas?
lang ako ng
Anong
saglit
oras ba 'to?
lang. Delete. Di ko alam. Basta pag ano, coach, may mga naglagay na ng feed dyan kasama. Lahat
Ah,
ng mga nag-attend sa 7-day, tsaka kahit yung mga nag-replay lang. So,
okay. So lahat ng mga naglagay ng feedback sa feedback form
hmm,
will join the ano, yung parang raffle tomorrow.
oo, sa
Tapos
raffle,
1 scholarship lang at saka 3 people with 20%.
20% discount. Mm.
Okay. Sige. Gets. Alright, sige. And yeah, kung sino
Kung
yung
sino rin
present
po
sa
gusto.
live, malaki ang chance na sila yung magiging
Oo
scholar.
nga, kapag nandun kayo sa live ko.
Oo,
Nice.
tama. So watch out guys sa announcement ni Sai
Malay
bukas.
mo dayain ko yun. Oo, di ba?
Yeah.
Hindi, joke lang. Yun
And
lang.
also, may request pala si Mil. Guys, when you receive the emails pala from the for the core formula workshop, ilagay nyo sa primary inbox. Either you can reply yes or noted or ano yung reply nyo, or you label it as important para or ilagay nyo kung malagay siya sa spam, move it to your inbox so that you would be updated kung ano yung mga um, ano yung mga activities or events or updates that we will send to you about the core formula workshop. So yun lang siguro. Sai, do you have anything else na kailangan nating announce?
Wala na, coach. Parang sumobra na talaga tayo and
Oo nga eh.
magutom na rin sila. So, ayan lang
Pagdating
guys. Comment nyo lang kung may mga any inquiries or questions inside the community. Huwag kayo maya mag-post. Like, post lang kayo. Sasagutin naman namin yun.
yeah,
Hindi namin
we love it.
papabayaan kayo.
We love it if you guys will ask questions tapos ipo-post nyo, or if meron kayong mga wins dyan, post nyo,
Oo.
achievements, or you want
Shout
to
out kay Chel Loren, yun
kay
yung mga
Chel, yeah,
nagtatanong.
yung question niya, ang ganda ng question niya, no? Tapos ang daming nag-answer din. So,
Mga value bombs. So, ayun guys, continue lang and keep going. Bye-bye.
yeah. Bye guys. Have a good night.